Hey there, chatters. I'm Nat.
And I'm Kat, and welcome to the Crime Chat. I am your forensic femme fatale Natalie, is your true crime addict connoisseur.
We're just two normal girls who obsess about dark crimes, evil minds, and occasionally the unknown.
And here's your disclaimer, chatters. The following Crime Chat contains adult content, and it will contain very violent scenarios, so your listener discretion is advised.
You've been warned. And before we get into today's Crime Chat, Kat, welcome back home. You're no longer in a bowl of jelly.
Nope. I got my background back.
Now you're in like some type of basement.
I'm in a creepy basement. It'll play into the story, so.
So what have you been up to?
So I started watching Baby Reindeer. Have you seen it?
I didn't watch it yet, but I watched the interview. So like
Okay.
I know of it. I know of the baby reindeer, but I'll go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay. Well, I've only seen 4 or 5 episodes, but I got Chris to watch 2 episodes last night, so I kind of started it over again. And
Right.
I haven't finished it. I don't know how many episodes, maybe 8 or so in it. But I was told to actually watch the Netflix series first and then watch the interview. Because it was with, Piers Morgan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to watch that first.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so Chris started watching Ghosts while I was gone.
Well, what's that?
It's a super cute comedy.
Okay.
Basically, this couple moves, the wife gets inherited this mansion. They move in. They decide to make it a bed and breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And it has ghosts from various timelines, centuries.
Okay.
One of them is Thor. That's 1,000 years old.
Okay.
Then there's some like Revolutionary War era time. And it's from upstate New York.
And
It's
where
cute.
is this?
It's really cute.
Where is it?
We started watching it on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
But we get that through Prime to get Paramount Plus and AMC Plus and AMC Interview with the Vampire Season 2 Episode 1 came out.
Is it good?
And then Episode 2 comes out tomorrow or today. Yes.
That's what you're gonna do after this crime chat.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I think they're kind of establishing the storyline and stuff too, because it goes a little bit in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good. You haven't seen the first season.
I have not. I haven't checked that out yet. I mean, I started watching it. I just couldn't commit to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Fully.
got it. Right.
Yeah,
So,
and
there's a
of
lot.
course it's best to binge. So yeah, I'm a binger.
Yeah.
So you've said you've heard of Baby Reindeer. You watched the interview. How was the interview?
So the crazy part is the baby reindeer. I mean, the character, the main character is the person. I mean, he's writing about his own life, his own experience working at a bar. Like that guy.
Yeah.
He's a comedian in real life, and he was writing about his experience when he was, a nobody coming up, and he was working at a bar, and he met this lady that came in, and he showed her some kindness, and it all kind of erupted from there. So I've heard.
Well, and the reason why, I'm asking too is just to clarify the character. Yes, I knew it was like based on a true story, but the characters are actors. They're not like the actual people.
No,
right?
the guy is the actual person. He's
He is the actual person,
yes,
and he's playing himself in this series. What?
Yes, and he wrote it.
Yeah.
So he's super talented, but he wanted to tell us about a story about what his experience with this one person, and he named her Martha, I think, in the series, and he tried to keep it super anonymous. He even went on record, said, I will not tell you who this person is. I want it to stay anonymous, all this stuff. She came out on and she's seeking like this big heavy payday.
Yeah, of course.
But it's ironic because she's literally, I watched the whole interview, and like the whole time she's like, well, this lady doesn't look like me. This lady doesn't act like me. And Piers Morgan like puts her and the actress together. Then he's like, you guys literally look like sisters. Like he's gotten some backlash about the interview because a lot of people felt that he may have kind of capitalized on somebody who has significant mental health issues.
Sure.
She went on the show acting totally lying every 2 seconds. Anything that came out of her mouth was a lie. But
yes,
crazy.
Yeah. Did he mention in like the real story, like her laugh?
I don't know if you know what? He kept it so accurate. He really did keep it accurate
Yeah.
that when you see the interview, you suddenly have a higher level of like appreciation for the guy who wrote it and directed it
Mm-hmm.
because you're like he really kept true to the story. But her
Mm-hmm.
laugh, I think the actress who was super talented, I don't know if she may have like turned it up a notch. I'm not sure.
Okay.
She wasn't laughing on the interview, to be
Well, no,
honest.
of course. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine.
But yeah.
Anything else?
So I watched a movie that I don't know if I recommend it or not, but it is super creepy and it's super weird. And
Oh, okay.
it's called Skinamarink.
Oh,
And
like skidamarinky dinky dink,
I
skidamarinky doo.
guess, I didn't even make that connection. I guess that's exactly what it means. I was like, what does that mean? So it's a dark B-rated movie.
Okay.
It's disturbing because it really doesn't it's a different type of horror. So it's not like jump scares, it's not like gore, it's nothing. It's actually it's
I'm
almost
looking
it's
at it.
yeah, it's about a little boy trapped in a house
Mm-hmm.
and during the whole movie like the house starts to change. Like there was a door there and now there's a wall and like the way the producer or the director shot this film, like shot the movie, was
Mm-hmm.
he kept on like the subject for an extra like an uncomfortably long time. So if he was filming this little kid, like the back of the kid
Mm-hmm.
in the dark, like you just see a shadow of the kid, and he would stay there longer than most movies would. Like he would give you that POV just a little
Mm-hmm.
bit too long where it made you feel uncomfortable. Like,
Uncomfortable.
all right,
Yeah.
now I feel like I'm watching this kid behind. Like it made us, the viewer, feel very like uncomfortable watching the movie.
So it says it's a
It's
Shudder original. Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Two children wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing and all the windows and doors in their home have vanished.
It's crazy.
Weird.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it, but I don't expect like it. You may shut it at the end of it. You may say like, "What the fuck did I just watch?" Like it's not something that you're like. It's just weird. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I like weird. Bring on the weirdness.
So that's basically it. That's what I did.
Okay.
But before we get into your story, which I've never heard of, sorry, I got to use my fan. It's hot. It's like 103 degrees.
Oh,
That's what it feels like
wow.
in Florida. It's very freaking hot. It doesn't matter
No, it's not like
how.
it barely got in the 70s
Whew.
today and it was overcast all day. Like maybe
I'm
low
so
70s.
jealous. Oh God, I feel like I can like erupt in just. I could just like what is that? What is that called? Human spontaneous combustion. I'm at that level. So okay. So before we get into your story, you asked me to do a history on Hungary.
Yes, not the famine kind.
Not the famine kind,
The
not no
country kind.
the country kind. Okay. Well, first off, all right, Hungarian is notorious for being one of the most difficult languages to learn. It has 44 letters and unique grammar
Mm.
rules in it that leaves most seasoned language learners scratching their heads with confusion. So,
Okay.
nestled in the heart of Central Europe, Hungary is a nation with a rich past shaped by a diverse tapestry of peoples and cultures. From its ancient origins, it is in its post-day achievements, Hungary's journey is a testament to resilience, creativity, and a spirit of its people. Hungary traces its roots back to the Magyars, a nomadic tribe of the Finno-Ugrig. Yay!
Yay.
An ethnic group indigenous to Hungary and the surrounding regions. The Magyars migrated from the Carpathian Basin in the late 9th century, led by the legendary chieftain Arpad. And I know I'm saying it like the way I've totally Americanized that because it has a little like slash above the H
Has
right
the
up.
ch over the A.
Yeah, and there's a way that you say the name, and it kind of rolls off your tongue, but nothing rolls off my tongue, so it's Arpad. Okay. He founded and established the Kingdom of Hungary, laying the foundation for the nation's first identity and culture. Hungarians are known for their warmth and hospitality, take pride in their traditions, which are deeply rooted in folk customs, music, and dance. Food. One of Hungary's most beloved cultural exports is cuisine, renowned for its bold flavors and hearty dishes. Influenced by Turkey, Austrian, and Slavic culinary traditions, Hungarian cuisine features iconic dishes such as goulash, paprika chicken, and fried dough. It's langos, Langos, fried
We just
dough.
had goulash last night for
I
dinner.
love goulash. Like, goulash is like one
Yeah.
of my favorite dishes. But damn, you eat that. I mean, you gotta eat that in
Yeah.
the winter. Can't eat that in
Yeah.
the summer. Hungarians are also super passionate about paprika, that they even have a
Mm.
paprika museum dedicated to its beloved spice. Yeah, they love it's like the Willy Wonka. Like, think of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but it's
But for
about
paprika.
peppers. Yeah.
Well, so I hear paprika sometimes, and I think of because my kids were so ingrained in Blue's Clues when it came out, and they have Mr. Salt, Mrs. Pepper, and Baby Paprika. The baby
Yes.
paprika is
That
so
was a really cute
cute.
show. That was a really cute show.
Yeah.
When you dig a little bit deeper in its dark past.
And I know.
Mm.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve. So,
Side note, in England,
yeah.
it's different. Instead of pail and shovel, it was spade and bucket.
Oh.
And then just like little things like that.
What about spade and hoe?
No hose here.
Oh boy. Okay.
Wait, we found a clue.
we we always get derailed. We always get derailed. Okay. We're gonna make up our own Blues Clues.
Clues, clues. Crime chat
Okay.
clues.
So, Hungary's cultural contributions extend far beyond its borders, like music. Hungarian composers like Franz Liszt and Bela Bartok.
Mm-hmm.
Hungarian mathematicians and scientists, including John von Neumann, who made a significant contribution to fields such as game theory and computer science. Now, Hungary today is modern and dynamic, known for its thriving economy and commitment to democracy. As a member of the European Union and NATO, Hungary plays a crucial role in regional and global affairs. The country's capital is Budapest, which is a bustling metropolis, including iconic landmarks such as the Hungarian Parliament building and Buda Castle. Have you ever been to Hungary?
No.
No? Okay,
I've
it's got
been
to go on your
hungry, but
bucket
never
list.
been too hungry.
Got to go on the bucket list. Got to go on the
Well,
whole list.
Oh. I've been to a lot of European countries, but Hungary is not one of them.
No? Okay. I could see that being a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, here's some lesser known facts about Hungary.
Mm.
Number one, the invention of the Rubik's Cube. Did you know they invented it? Yeah. One of the most popular puzzles in the world was invented by a Hungarian architect, Erno Rubik, in 1974.
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Rubik's Cube.
Right. And they,
Rubik apostrophe S cube. It's his cube.
Yep, that's right. And originally he named it like Magic Cube, but I'd like
Come on.
Rubik. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Did you ever have a magic 8-ball?
Yeah, of course. I still have one.
Yeah.
I ask that thing daily, what the hell's going on? Like, what's the meaning of life? Oh, you don't know yet? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, no. All right, number two. The world's first official wine region. Hungary is home to the world's first official classified wine region.
Well, cheers to you, Hungary.
Cheers to you too. I have water today, but they I know. They established
I have
that.
water too in my fuck you mug.
Number three, the origins of the word coach. The word coach originates from the Hungarian town of Koch.
Cox.
Cox.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it.
It's Cox. K-O-C-S.
I didn't want to say it, okay? So far we got we've already spoken about hose and cocks in this segment. Okay. Well, this describes
unpredictable.
Yes. This described a horse-drawn carriage, which was first built in the 15th century.
Oh, that kind of coach. I'm thinking, get out there, buddy, and a team coach.
No.
Well, because actually we're going to talk about very quickly about life coaches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
An interesting population. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 4, the Puli dogs, a distinctive Hungarian breed of sheepdog. And its signature, I know you've seen them. They have that signature corded, it looks like dreadlocks when they're running. It's like.
I have. Yes, and I'm looking them up right now because I want to see. Oh, yeah.
Adorable.
They do. They're little dreads.
Yeah.
The little furry dreads.
These dogs are highly intelligent, agile, and they make an invaluable companion in rural Hungary.
Aww.
So I guess, yeah, they're good with like livestock and stuff. But they're they're high maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
That hair, I mean, Yeah,
Yeah.
that has to be done professionally, and then you have to maintain it. And I don't know, like when they're born,
Oh,
if
I
their
thought it was
hair.
natural.
No, I don't. I think their hair is so coarse that it naturally does mat, but
It does. Okay.
I think you have to kind of like train it to make those long cords.
Yeah.
God. Mm.
Huh.
Number 5, the birthplace of vitamin C.
Oh.
A Hungarian biochemist Albert
Oh.
Schützengerti.
Suits and Gertie.
Yeah. And once again,
Oh.
there there's more paprika
Nailed
in
it.
that, but I did not nail it. But it's as close as I'm going to get to it. All right. He's accredited for discovering vitamin C in 1930
Okay.
while he was conducting research on paprika peppers, of course.
Baby
What's up with
paprika.
paprika? I don't get it. Okay. Number 6, thermal baths. So Hungary is renowned for its
Oh.
abundance of natural thermal springs, which has been
Oh.
utilized for centuries. Like it contributes to their health benefits. Like they swear by it. So
You had me at the wine region,
the wine.
and you got me at the baths.
Right.
And if you get vitamin C in the mix, cool.
Right. Right. So far, cool games, Rubik's Cube,
Yeah.
wine, adorable dogs, hot springs, and paprika. So here's another cool fact. The statue of Anonymous. In Budapest City Park, there stands a mysterious statue known as the Statue of Anonymous. What makes it bizarre is that no one knows who put it there or what it depicts.
It's
It's
who it's
crazy.
honoring.
It's crazy. I'll post a picture right here. It's crazy.
Okay.
Next one, the Museum of Terror.
Oh.
Housed in the former headquarters of both the Nazi and the communist regimes, the Museum of Terror in Budapest is not for the faint of hearts. It explores the dark period of Hungary's history under both dictatorships and it's filled with chilling exhibits including torture devices and propaganda posters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one, the underground hospital in Buda Castle. During World War II, a secret underground hospital was constructed beneath Buda Castle in Budapest to treat wounded soldiers and civilians. It remained hidden for decades until the discovery in the 2000s, revealing the labyrinth of network tunnels and chambers frozen
Wow.
in time.
Very cool.
Seems like a great place to visit.
Yeah, let's go.
I want to go.
Let's go. Let's book our ticket.
Mm-hmm.
We probably need to go in like the spring or the fall because I'm pretty sure they don't have air conditioning as most European places
Oh yeah, we need
don't have air conditioning.
I can't sweat.
So
Oh, and we got hot springs. We're good. We're good.
if we go in the winter,
Yes. Yeah. Oh yes.
yeah. Go skiing.
I love to ski. Love
I
ski.
haven't been skiing in a long time,
Me neither.
and I honestly only went the once. And by the time I got the hang of it, I was so sore from falling down that I said, okay, I'm going to have to try again another day. And that day has not yet come.
We could just
But
sit on the
I really enjoyed it.
yeah. We could just sit on the bunny slope.
Mhm.
That's it. All you have to do is get to the lodge at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
That's all you really have to do. That's the goal
Yeah.
for the day. But okay, so I hope that helps you with your story today.
Yeah, obviously. So we're going to be in Hungary, not the famine, the country.
Okay.
We're going to be in Hungary today. So that's why I was like, let's do a little bit of background to Hungary. We haven't really talked much about Hungary, and this story may scar you, and you may not want to go.
Oh,
Just saying. But I did mention last week that I was going to be covering the 3 B's: bodies, barrels, and Bela. And not our fur babies, Bela, but about Bela Kiss, a Hungarian serial killer who filled barrels with bodies around the World War I time frame, and many believe that Bela was triggered by an incident that descended into a life of murder.
Oh, okay.
Murder. Unlike a few serial killers, Bela Kiss sought to preserve the bodies of his victims. Specifically, he would pickle his victims' bodies in large steel drums filled with wood alcohol, also known as methanol. He would drain the blood from the necks of his victims, which actually earned him the moniker the Vampire of Sincota. And I also saw the Hungarian Vampire.
Oh, okay.
So let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah.
So who was Bela Kiss? Well, he was born in 1877. No date is known, circa 1877. Little is known about his early years, but he was born in Isaac, Austria-Hungary, to Janos Kiss and Verona Varga. At a young age, some people actually theorize he possibly had an incestuous relationship with his mother. This was never completely founded, at least I couldn't find it, but there's that, that rumor mill that might have happened.
Okay.
When he was 23, he trained as a tinsmith and lived just outside of Budapest in the Austro-Hungarian Empire in a town called Szentkotta, what is today part of Hungary. He was an avid reader. He was highly conversant on art, literature, and history, and with no formal schooling at all, he still was able to discuss virtually any topic with the most intelligent and educated of any of the townspeople. So he held his own.
Wow. Okay.
Belakis was likable enough and gotten along with everyone. He was regarded as a gentleman, an eligible bachelor. He threw lavish house and dinner parties. His blonde hair, tall stature, handsome features made him appealing to many of the townsfolk. He became deeply interested in astrology and the occult. However, for the most part, Bela pretty much kept to himself. He was married twice and had 2 children, Aranka and Ianka. Aranka and Ianka. Due to some evidence found, police believe it was around 1903 that Belakis began plotting his horrific murders. He would take out personal ads in newspapers, claiming to be a lonely widower looking for marriage under the alias Hoffman. He would use this method to correspond with women and managed to convince some of them to give him their money and assets. Now put a nugget in that. We're going to come back. Nuggies. We got a nugget on this one. We got a Hungarian nugget. Corresponding with women was easy for him. Belakis was a ladies' man and lived a very eccentric life. In February of 1912, Bela was actually happy to settle down with his second wife and new bride. Her name was Marie, but she was also 15 years his junior. However, Marie had an affair very shortly after the marriage, like within a couple months, with a lover named Paul Beccari. Belakis would eventually hire an elderly woman, her name was Mrs. John Jakubak, as a housekeeper to perform domestic duties that a wife would normally do. And although he was very well liked, he was not close to any of his neighbors. He was known as a sorcerer, and they said they had like a certain weirdness about him that kept his neighbors at arm's length. Like, you can stay over there, I'll stay over here.
Right.
Only if you actually approached his house.
Right. I'm the same way.
Oh, yeah. Like, I love my neighbors. I don't really know the neighbors on one side, but I love my neighbors on the other side. And we've hung out and stuff, but it's like we respect each other's space.
Right, a good fence. Good fence makes good neighbors.
Good fence. That's right. Within weeks of his marriage to Marie, people started noticing that she didn't seem to be around much. And they noticed also several women were visiting Bela. Near the end of 1912, one of his neighbors actually did approach Bela and asked him where Marie was. Bela provided a heartfelt and sad response that she had left him for another man. Now, after Marie's disappearance, he started getting deeply interested in the occult and began a second career as an amateur astrologer. Bela's neighbors were disturbed by the number of gasoline barrels that he kept on his property, even calling the police at one point to question him about them. His explanation was that he could see a war coming, and he was hoarding gasoline in preparation for rationing. Police had no reason to question this at the time.
No, because,
at all.
There was war.
Yep. World War I, baby. Eventually, the housekeeper, Miss Jakubek, who took note of his many eccentricities, she noticed that he took out ads in the local paper, offered services as a matchmaker, as a fortune teller, even what we would call a life coach today. That's why I meant to briefly talk about life coach. He would say this to many women around town. Sometimes he would bring those women back to his home, but Bela did not introduce them to anyone, including the housekeeper, Mrs. Jakubek.
Okay.
He was actually right about the war coming. In June 1914, Austro-Hungarian Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated by anarchist Gavril Princip on the streets of Sarajevo. Tensions between Serbia and the Austro-Hungarian Empire were already high, and the assassination provided the proper excuse for the emperor to declare war on Serbia. 1 month to the day after killing the Archduke, the war began. Like many military-aged men in the empire, Belakis was called to serve the emperor during World War I. At the age of 42, Bela left his home in the care of his housekeeper, Mrs. Jakubek, and went off to war.
Wow.
Sounds heroic. For almost 2 years, nobody heard a word from him, not even his housekeeper. By the spring of 1916, and with no sight of Bela, his landlord, Marton Krasinski, also hadn't heard from him. Within 18 months of Bela entering service, town authorities actually were notified that Bela had been killed in action.
Oh.
Now, when the landlord decided to renovate and re-rent the house, knowing this, thinking that, okay, he's not coming back, he entered the home to clear out some of Bela's things. And in June of that year, Hungarian soldiers came to Sincota to look for supplies and gasoline. Aware that Bela had a stockpile of gasoline at his house, police provided this to the soldiers, and the constable then directed them to where Bela Kiss lived. Said, hey, go there and get gasoline.
Right.
First thing the landlord decided to do for the soldiers was to give them the stockpile of gasoline. They found 7 gas drums in the attic. Their weight was supported by a special framing, but it didn't throw them off. The soldiers took the barrels outside, but when they opened the first one, they didn't find gasoline. No. What they found shocked both the landlord and the soldiers to their core. The airtight top of the barrel was sealed with lead and had been loosened with an axe. Inside, a bag was found and pulled out of the cylinder holding the body of a strangled woman. Her body was sewn into the bag. I don't know what kind of bag. I'm thinking like a potato sack.
Okay. Oh my God.
It's like what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then there were also pickled remains of other bodies in the barrel. So another barrel was also opened, and the corpse smell emanated, and a lock of blonde hair fell out when they opened up the top. So that's 2 barrels.
Yeah.
At least 2 bodies.
Right.
You've got hair, you've got one sewn into a bag.
And they're pickled.
And they're pickled.
Oh my God.
With methanol. Now, with the opening of each drum, they found more and more decomposing corpses of nude females that were stored in alcohol. Each one with distinctive ligature marks on their necks, showing how they were killed. Among these bodies were those of Marie and Paul.
Wow.
Yeah, police theorized that Bela Kiss had killed Marie and Paul when he discovered their affair, and this was the event that triggered his homicidal rampage. He then wooed widows and convinced them to hand over their money and valuables. When they searched the rest of the property, police found more of Bela Kiss's serial killer trophies, 24 bodies in all, 23 women and 1 man, the 1 man being Paul. They also found a variety of female clothing and jewelry, and pawn tickets for more valuables. They found numerous letters from many women who responded to someone named Hoffman, but it was from a different address. In the letters, Hoffman claimed to be a lonely widower looking for female companionship. Detective Chief Charles Nagy informed the military that they should arrest Bela Kiss immediately, because remember, he was off to war.
Right.
But if he was still alive, there was also a possibility that he was a prisoner of war, so they didn't know the status of him. The name, unfortunately, was also very common. Kiss means little in Hungarian, so it's like, Stuart Little, Bella Little. Chief Nagy asked the Postal Service to hold any possible letters to Bela Kiss in case he had an accomplice that could warn him. Nagy also initially suspected that Mrs. Jakuback might have had something to do with the murders, especially when Bela Kiss had left her his money in his will. Nagy then arrested the housekeeper, Mrs. Jakuback, but she assured the police she knew absolutely nothing about these murders. She showed them instead a secret locked room. Bella told her to never enter this, but with the police were there and everything, she's like, maybe something's in there.
Right.
The room was filled with bookcases, it had a desk. The desk had letters from 74 different women. There were books about poisoning and strangulation, and there was evidence that Bela Kiss was fooling lonely women. From the letters, Nagy discerned several things. The oldest of the letters were from 1903, which is what I mentioned earlier, and it became clear that Bela Kiss was defrauding the women who had been looking for marriage. On a lonely heart.
Yeah, the lonely heart killer. What's her name?
Yeah.
The giggling granny.
Giggling granny, yeah.
But you know what? I have to say, this whole, while you're going through the story, he does have a cool name. Bela Kiss.
Bela Kiss.
That's a great name. Okay. Just had to say that.
So they found that he placed ads in the marriage columns of several newspapers. He had selected mainly women who had no relatives living nearby and knew no one who would quickly notice their disappearance. He wooed them, convinced them to send him money, and if they proved to be troublesome, he would kill them. Police also found old court records that indicated that 2 of his victims initiated court proceedings because he had taken money from them. Both women, surprise, surprise, disappeared, and the cases were dismissed.
Yeah.
Each woman who came to the house that was considered to be troublesome to him were strangled. Police found that the bodies had puncture marks on their necks and that their bodies were drained of blood.
Oh, wow.
Which led them to believe that Bela Kiss may have also been practicing vampirism.
That's crazy.
Vampire.
That's crazy. It's a crazy twist. Okay.
Bela Kiss's housekeeper, Mrs. Jakubek, she told police, quote, "We're so fond of him. He was kind to everyone. He wouldn't hurt a living thing. Once, a dog broke his leg, and he made splints and nursed the animal to recovery. I am sure it's a mistake. He did not kill those women. Someone else did." End quote.
This woman is crazy. First of all, the man goes to war, tells you do not open this door. What would be the first thing we do? We'd be like, all right.
Open it.
Is he gone?
You don't have to wait 2 years. That would do it right away. On October 4th, 1916, Chief Nagy received a letter that stated Bela Kiss was recuperating in a Serbian hospital. Nagy arrived a little too late. Kiss had fled. Speculation arose that Bela Kiss had perhaps faked his death by exchanging identities with a dead soldier during the war. Like somebody next to him had died, he swapped identities, and they're like, oh, this is Bela Kiss, he's deceased, which is also why the townspeople would have thought that he was dead.
Right. Oof.
Chief Nagy alerted the Hungarian police, and unfortunately, all the sightings the police checked proved to be wrong. So any of the leads that came in, nothing. Absolutely nothing. On several later occasions, Bela Kiss supposedly was cited numerous times in following years, and there were various rumors about his fate, including that, one, he had been imprisoned for burglary in Romania, or two, that he had died of yellow fever in Turkey. In 1920, a soldier in the French Foreign Legion reported on another legionnaire named Hoffman, the name that Bela Kiss had used in some of his letters.
Yes.
Who had boasted about how good he was at using a garrote and who fit Bela Kiss's description. Hoffman apparently had escaped before police could reach him. In 1932, homicide detective Henry Oswald was certain he had seen Bela Kiss coming out of Times Square subway in New York City. There were also rumors that Bela Kiss was living in New York City and working as a janitor, but none of this could be verified. The truth is, the fate of Bela Kiss, this Hungarian vampire, remains unknown. Regardless of the various sightings in various countries, the killer was truly never seen again. However, he and his story have inspired many, many movies, books, anything to do in popular culture, so I'm just going to name a few. 1. The second half of David Kuline's book, The Blood Letter, was inspired by Bela Kiss and released in just this year, March of 2024.
Ooh.
The stories called Bela Kiss Goes to Theater and Bela Kiss Goes to War are excerpts from his novella.
Oh, okay.
The next one is a German horror movie, Bela Kiss Prologue, aka The Kiss of a Killer or Natural Born Killer. Was directed by Lucian Forster, released in 2013, and is based on Bela Kiss's biography. Obviously not an autobiography, just a biography. Next, the novel Hill House by Gopi Kotor was inspired by true events in the life of Bela Kiss. There were several songs also named Bela Kiss by bands such as Bloodsucking Zombies, Gazpacho, John 5, and Funk and the Two-Tone Baby.
Ooh, okay. I love that name. Gazpacho. I love that. Okay.
Gazpacho, I know. And then last one I have here is the band named Bela Kiss is a metal hardcore band from Long Island, and they named themselves after the murderer. So that is the crazy, kooky story and disturbing story of Bela Kiss.
Yeah, and it's crazy that he probably died in New York City. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, 1930s or whatever. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was crazy. He has a cool name, though. I have to admit, he has a cool name.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite name of a serial killer, Bela Kiss.
Bela Kiss.
Yeah.
You know, and it was funny because when I can't remember, it's been a couple years since I first heard the name, and I was like, Bela Kiss. I'm like, who is she?
Yeah, I thought it was about a woman too.
Yeah, no, it's a he, and it's B-E with a ch over the E, L-A. So
with the what? With the what?
With a ch over the E. Have you never heard that before?
No.
Over the E.
No.
That was from the stand-up comedian Jeff Dunham. He has a little he's a ventriloquist guy, and he's got a little character named Peanut. Yes,
I know him. Okay.
He had Peanut, and then he had Jose the Jalapeno, and he's like, the ch over the E and the enya over the N.
Oh
Anyway,
my God.
that's where I get the ch from. But yeah, so what do you think? What do you think happened to him?
I think he probably died in New York. I think
Yeah,
he absolutely came over. Just like
I think so.
Jack the Ripper. Jack
Jack
the
the Ripper.
Ripper, they all came over. They all came
Jack the
over.
Ripper came to Arizona, so
Oh, you think so?
no.
Oh. I
Remember, well,
totally
the Arizona Ripper story that we did, how his spirit came with the London Bridge
Oh,
pieces
that's right.
and
That's
then
right.
rebuilt back up.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of them came over during that time when, Ellis Island, and we had a lot of people coming over. Like a lot of people coming over that were starting over, coming from war zones. And a lot of them weren't good. A lot of them were
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
Gangs. A lot of them.
yeah.
So, yeah, I
Well,
believe he died here. Yeah. Oof.
and apparently this detective Henry Oswald, who supposedly saw him in New York City, has like a photographic memory and was like, I know who I saw. Like, I know exactly who I saw. So, I mean,
And it's not that long ago. You said in the 30s? 1932?
1932. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was
So,
good.
so the blood, draining of the blood, other than practicing vampirism
Mm-hmm.
or like drinking the blood,
Right.
the only other reason I could think is if he was trying to fit the bodies into the barrel by getting rid of the blood. I don't know. What else would you drain? Why else would you drain people of their blood? You know?
Maybe he was just like trying stuff out. Maybe he was
Yeah.
getting creative. He's pickling them. I wonder if he added like his
Well,
little paprika.
some paprika in the barrel. So
It's crazy that they were in his attic and
Yeah.
he was claiming that they were drums of gasoline and nobody was like, "Hey, that's not something you keep in your attic."
yeah. Well,
But I guess back then, I don't
you
know.
could say anything.
Yeah.
Prove it.
So now this,
And-
I guess back then, the landlords would hold their apartments until they came back from war. They would give them that. Well, that's nice, but
I'm presuming here, completely assuming that the government would help supplement that.
true.
Maybe.
Okay.
I would think, but because if you're asking, hey, you're going off to war,
Right.
or maybe Bela would have gotten a supplement to help pay for housing back home
Right.
while he was gone. But, I mean, I don't know. Stranger things have happened, so
Wow.
maybe not. But that's just me completely presuming that that might have been the case.
That's a unique story. Well, I don't know how the hell you came about that one. Like, how did you dig that one up? Where did you get this one?
So it was in one of my books, one
Okay.
of my serial killer books, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds weird." And then I think I heard it. I've heard it on a couple of different podcasts. I think Wine and Crime covered it not that long ago.
Okay.
In their their pickle crimes. They had an episode called Pickle Crimes, and I think Amanda might have covered him in that story. Yeah,
Pickle crimes. They come up
Pickle
with
Crimes.
stuff. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, because we don't want to leave you hanging, chatters, for more information on this case, please check out After That Crime Chat, only available on Patreon.
And don't forget to follow us, Crime Chat with Nat and Kat, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and X. See what we got going on.
Remember, Crime Chat with Nat and Kat, when you become a VIP chatter to our Patreon, you'll have access to bonus episodes, behind the scenes, bloopers, and free merch. Check out some merch in the works.
Yes, on the Patreon, I have pictures I've already posted with some of the references and stuff that I got from this article.
Right.
But remember, chatters, next Saturday is our off week. So we will be back on June 8th with our next story.
Yes, you don't want to miss it.
Yep. So see you next time, chatters. Bye.